Hi vinyl community, it's Mike here. And the other day I was watching Ken Morgan's channel, and Ken's currently doing a series of videos about his favourite decade in music, and his favourite decade is the 1970s. And he showed different types of albums from the 70s that are his favourites. And the other day he did a video on 1970s concept albums. Anyway, Steve Carlson also saw this video and thought, yeah, this would be a good idea for a thread, wouldn't it? Show some of your concept albums. And I think I agree with him. So here goes. Here's 5 concept albums for you. Now, the first one is from 2015, and it's Public Service Broadcasting. And as you can see, this is our album called The Race of Space. And basically, this is a story of the space race from Sputnik all the way to the final Apollo landings on the moon. And what they do is they combine music with newsreel audio of the space race. So, you know, it goes all the way through. As I say, it starts off with Sputnik and then moves through to Yuri Gagarin, to spacewalks, and then through to Apollo. And there's one of the most famous pictures from the moon. There's the Earth for you, and you can see that's a track listing. So you've got the Race of Space, Sputnik, Gagarin, Fire in the Cockpit, which is one of the Apollo disasters, EVA, the other side, which was about the first circumnavigation of the moon. So an Apollo craft went around the back of the moon to the dark side of the moon and back again. Then you got Valentina, and of course Valentina Tereshova, I think it is. She was the first woman in space. And then Go, which is about launching of Apollo, and then Tomorrow, which is really talking about, you know, what comes next after the Apollo program. And of course, you know, very little happened, didn't it? You know, in terms of sort of space exploration. After that, we've had various unmanned probes to Mars and whatever. But you know, the great days of sort of people going into space, going to the moon, seem to be sort of behind us now. So anyway, that's the first album. It's a fantastic album, and it's The Race for Space from Public Service Broadcasting. Right, next one is an album that I've shown before, but I show it again, and it continues the space theme. And again, this album is from the 2000s, 2017, and it's from the composer Hannah Peel. And this is called Mary Cassio, Voyage to Cassiopeia. So it's an imagined journey into space, and you know, the packaging on this album is absolutely fantastic. And you know, it's very much sort of it synthesizers, and there's a Yorkshire brass band in there. It's an absolutely lovely album, and I'll show you the inner because that's quite nice as well. And this album has recently been reissued, so you know, if you don't have a copy, and I recommend that you do, if you like that sort of thing, you know, sort of composed synthesizer music, if you like a Yorkshire brass band, because there's plenty in here, then this is an album for you. So that's the second one. Third one is a folk album, and it's Fairport Convention. It's from 1971, and this is their album, Barbican Lee. And this is the story of John Lee, and it's a true story. He became known as the man we couldn't hang. And what happened is that John Lee, he got a job in Devon, a suburb of Torquay called Barbican, and with an elderly lady. And this was back at the sort of turn of the sort of 19th to 20th century. And unfortunately, Emma Key, the lady that employed him, she was murdered, and John found the body. He called the police, and for lack of another suspect, John was arrested and he was sentenced to death. And when it came to time of his execution, they tried to hang him 3 times, and each time the gallows failed. So after the third attempt, it was seen as providence, that John was actually innocent. So he was set free. And the album itself, came with this lovely thing. It's a reproduction of Lloyd's Weekly News, and this is the story of John Lee, or John Babbacombe Lee as he's become known. His story in his own words, and how this whole sort of ordeal affected his life. And what happened is that Dave Swarbrick had come across a whole load of information about John Lee, and it was from John Lee himself. He had collected all sort of newspaper cuttings and various things about his trial, and etc. etc. And he put them into a folder, and Dave Swarbrick came across this and decided to make this into a concept album. So this is the story of John's life leading up to the fateful murder and his false accusation, and his eventual sort of release from prison. So that's from 1971. It's Babbacombe Lee by Fairport Convention. The next one is a concept that only this man could have come up with, and it's Serge Gainsbourg, and it's Eastward and Melody Nelson. And the premise of the story here is that a rich middle-aged man is driving his Rolls Royce, and he knocks a young girl off her bicycle, and the girl is Melody Nelson, and she's a British girl, and she's 14 years old. And the middle-aged man becomes fascinated with this young girl, and he strikes up an affair with her. And eventually, what happens is that Melody has to return to England, to Sunderland of all places. And she gets on a cargo plane to return to the UK, to Sunderland, and the plane crashes, and the narrator, the middle-aged man, is absolutely distraught by all of this, and that's the story basically. And the picture on the front, that's Jane Birkin in a ginger wig, and she was pregnant at the time with Charlotte, I think, who obviously came on to be a singer and an actress. So there you go. So this is a rather dodgy concept album from Serge Gainsbourg. It's a reissue here, so you've got the album itself that only runs to sort of less than half an hour, and then you've got various tracks from the sessions from recording the album. So that's Serge Gainsbourg and Eastward Melody Nelson. And the final one, the fifth one, is a bit of reggae, and this is from 1979, and it's Bob Marley and the Wailers. It's one of my favourite Bob Marley albums, and it's survival. And the theme of this album is Pan-Africanism. So basically, it's the idea that the indigenous people of Africa have more in common than they have that divides them, and they should look to their history and know where they come from. So you've got tracks on here like Africa Unite is one of my favourites here. There's a track called Zimbabwe, and that was actually sung at the concert when Zimbabwe had their inauguration in 1980. And what you've got here is a lot of African flags, and there's one flag that doesn't actually fit in here. And, you know, who knows why it's here at all? It's probably an error, but is this one here? This isn't an African flag at all. This is the flag of Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is in the Pacific, just north of Australia. But there you go. That's a final one. This is you know, a great reggae album by Bob Marley and the Wailers, one of my favourites, and survival, all about Pan-Africanism. So that's my 5 concept albums. I'll leave a link to Ken's channel for you, and I'll see you next time. So bye then. Bye.